Good evening, fellow traders. Welcome to the F&O Show with Bereez. Talking about indices for today, we saw a very tight range that indices moved in. Bank Nifty had some 250, 260 point range intraday. Nifty had about, I think, 80, 90 point range intraday. It looked like we opened at a little bearish bias. That followed with a down move just below the day low. Then we moved a little up. Then we made a new day low, followed by a retest, near retest of the day high, and then again we closed at day low. So we have made a bearish candle for the day. But looking at the hourly chart, as you can see on the screen, the range itself is not very big. And we have that large gap to the bottom side, all the way down to 18,050, 60 levels. So that is an interesting level to watch. How the Nifty behaves in the gap, whether it manages to fill the gap completely, whether it reverses from somewhere within the gap, or do we not test the gap at all and just keep heading higher from here, is something we would like to see in this week. There was no major trade today as per our setup in Nifty. So this was just wait and watch kind of thing, a very tight range to for this expiry. So plan would definitely be to make sure we don't get caught off guard by breakouts on either sides. Let us move to Bank Nifty, where there was an interesting setup that Kshitij can walk us through.
Yeah. Hi, hello everyone. So today in Bank Nifty, what I was seeing was this trend line breakout. Okay, let me draw it. Yeah. This trend line breakout, and also the price had reached the prior support. So we did wait for a break above this level, and in this 15-minute candle closing above this level. But what happened was is that you can see there is a wick here. So I did not enter longs, but the trade played out pretty well. That was just a simple trade that I was looking for today, but yeah, I couldn't enter in it. But yeah, setup was there. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did post this trade in our Telegram
Telegram
group as
group.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can see in the chart itself, there were successive 8, 5, 15-minute candles that were of very small body, right from I think
Yeah.
10:45 today. Yeah, that range. So that was a congestion zone that Bank Nifty broke out of. So that was another setup. So if trend lines are not something you watch, you can always look at setups like these, which have contraction in volatility followed by expansion in volatility and so on.
Yeah. And
So
also there was a hammer if somebody trades
yeah,
hammers. Yeah.
yeah. So same movement, but multiple setups that gave an indication that it can
Yeah.
move. So I think if you have even a basic understanding of market,
Yeah.
and if you saw this setup, you could drum up a position to make
Yes.
money. Though,
That is what Bank
yeah,
Nifty. What I see is Bank Nifty. If you just keep watching it, it will present you with one or two setups a day. You just have to be very
yes,
patient, keep looking at the charts, and let the patterns form out. And you shouldn't let the patterns play in your head. You should
yeah,
wait for the patterns to form on your charts. A lot of people
yeah.
preempt the pattern, and that is where they go wrong. So waiting for closings are something very important.
Yeah, and this was what 42,000 to around 150 points, 180 points move that Bank Nifty gave,
Yeah.
despite having only 250 point of range intraday. So it's not that you always need index to move large point moves, so to speak.
In fact, the in
Today's
fact
Bank
the
Nifty,
option strike price that I was seeing moved around 80 to 90 points, and which is enough. If you have a 30-point stop loss, you have your 1:2 trade there.
yeah, yeah, and also you don't need as much margin to buy into options. You don't pay much in transaction charges.
Yes.
That is a STT, as it's called,
Yeah.
because STT is calculated on turnover in case of options. only the options premium is considered as turnover. Whereas if you trade futures, the notional value of the contract is
Yes.
considered for turnover.
If you
So
remember,
where
that
you
is why
might,
I also shifted from equity trading to options just because the STT charges was so high.
yeah. So just to give you an example, if you enter into a bank nifty future long, then I think the break even is somewhere around
6 points, I
1,000
guess.
or
6 points, I guess.
it's 6 points.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
check now.
so yeah, zero the brokerage. So if you are using a different broker, this will still work because STT remains the same across brokers. Yeah, let's say 42,000 and 42,150 if we manage to capture that much, and single lot 25. Yeah,
9 points.
there you can see.
9 points
Yeah,
of
9 points. Yeah, 9 points of break even. Whereas if same thing is done in options, if we can buy an option for,
hardly two
yeah,
points.
so yeah, 2 points. So you pay like 25% less in charges at least when it
Yeah,
comes to
yeah.
trading in
Because here
options.
the notional values again. Here you have to pay 225. Here it's just 60 rupees.
Yeah, and not to mention the margin requirement for a futures in Bank Nifty. I think around 1.2 lakhs is required now. So
Yeah,
since Bank Nifty
1.2
has
to
rallied so
1.5.
much,
Yes.
yeah, it's somewhere in that range. Whereas single lot of future here would have costed you 7,500.
Yeah.
So if risk reward permitted, generally we trade in multiple lots. So even when we buy, we might buy 5, 6, 7, 10, depending upon the kind of risk reward there is in the setup. So for the same amount of margin, also you can make better returns in options, provided you know what
Yeah.
how the options are behaving and so on, because
Also, you should
we
know the
have
strikes
gotten,
price selection. You can't be trading
yes.
OTMs.
Yeah. So it's a very nuanced game. It's much an art as a science, because we have seen people not knowing Greeks and doing extremely well in options
Yes.
because they
Yes.
just know the behavior of it just by sheer practice. And you can read books and books on option
And
Greeks and still not manage to
yeah,
make money in
this is
options.
one topic that we I think we can just keep talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
especially I can. So
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
swiftly move on to Fin Nifty and call it a segue. Why not? Our show we can do about Fin.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is Nifty Finance expiry, Nifty Financial Services, that is. So naturally today I took some intraday option selling type of trades, simply to see how what kind of decay there is. And all. I wasn't in with my 100% capital. I was around 40% uh, in, and there are certain levels that I was watching in Bank Nifty. One is 18,700 on the downside and 19,200 on the upside. That is the 500-point range that I feel should hold for this week, roughly 18,700. Yeah, somewhere around there. And you can check after the show how far these levels go. But these are not levels of past few days. These stretch back months and months. And again, back Nifty Financial Services has entered in that range. For today's intraday, also, yeah, there are. If you see on smaller time frames, there are these zones that I am expecting to get followed, in
Yeah.
at least in this week.
It is a classic supply zone.
Yeah. So the if Nifty, not Nifty, financial services hover in this range, tomorrow might be a decent expiry. If not, I think past two expiries pattern will continue. Uh, but in financial services, stocks have started to move. Manappuram, we discussed in our after our show as well. Manappuram has given some 7% move today, breaking clean through the a support that had turned into a resistance. Again, it might turn into a support. We will see how it behaves. It's also making a higher lows kind of pattern here.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is also
On weekly, we can
a
see
good.
that clearly.
Yes, that is also a good sign. So all in all, financial services might move up, but mind you, Manappuram does not have a lot of weight in the index. That is still held by HDFC Twins and Bajaj Twins.
Yeah,
And those two stocks, after Friday's move, seem a little exhausted, so to speak, today. Bajaj Finance, as you can see, hasn't made a green candle in past 5 trading sessions, including today's, and it is in a range for past since
yeah,
August. So almost 3.5 months, it's in a range. So that is also something to be watched. The zone that Kshitij just marked is, I think it's around 7,000, 6,900 kind of
yeah, yeah,
range. Yeah. So that is the zone where I might enter in small quantities. But again, Bajaj Finance gives large moves, and it's not
yeah,
uncommon for Bajaj Finance to correct by 20 odd percentage points.
yeah.
So uh, purely on technical basis, I might enter, but at the same time, at the back of my head, I still have the fact that Bajaj Finance is a volatile stock and it can correct much more. And I think I will keep some capital at hand to enter in Bajaj Finance at a lower level. But for the time being, I am looking at call options on Bajaj Finance. I don't have a holding, so technically it's not a covered call. But I don't have a very strong bullish view on Bajaj Finance from here. So I will I
If
will
it
express
manages
that
to
view.
close above this level and like show some strength, then we can look for longs.
Yes, yes. So that's in Bajaj Finance. I am looking at options. Margins are not very high right now, margin requirements and budget, or not, sir, not budget. Results of the Bajaj Finance are not also nearby. They announced one in October. We won't get another one till January, I think. So Bajaj Finance is pretty safe that way to trade in options.
Easy 4 months
Uh,
of selling call options in Bajaj Finance, huh?
I should have looking at
Yeah,
the chart,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. In hindsight, everything is easy.
yeah, in hindsight, everyone's
I,
a Bill
I,
Gates,
I'm billionaire. Yeah, yeah,
not Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, or even Jim Simons for
yeah,
that matter. We should discuss about Jim Simons sometimes. Very
yeah, yes,
interesting person.
yes. His fund is called the Medallion, right?
Yeah, Medallion Fund. The chief
Medallion.
fund is called Medallion Fund.
Average
We
something
will, we
about
will,
66%. Unreal.
yeah, yeah. After fees, CAGR of 50% plus for quite a few years. Beats Warren Buffett by quite a big margin on
Yeah,
return consistency terms, but uh, he faces the same problem many of the large traders face. The market is simply too small for him now, so he cannot deploy all of his
lot of
capital
capital.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's too big for the market. Anyhow, that is a different discussion because Bill Simons, we can easily talk for an hour.
yeah.
He's just that interesting a person. One F&O trade, since this is an F&O show, Tata Steel was something I was looking at for a few days, waiting for it to come to 110 sort of zone. And today, finally, it came there, and option prices were not too bad, even for a couple of strikes out of the money. So my trade there, let me just reconfirm. My trade is 110 call sell and 111 call buy. So that is a bear call spread, net credit spread as it's called. And it's a positional one, 10 days to expiry still. Yeah. So that is what,
Sorry, sorry. You continue.
yeah, that's all. That's all. So 110 is the level that I feel will act as a resistance as it has acted before a few times. And so that's why this trade I punched in. Very low margin requirement, surprisingly. Before the Tata Steel shares had a split, Margin requirement in Tata Steel was quite high for a call spread of single strike width. I think around 60-70,000 of margin was required.
Okay.
Now I think it's around 20.
Oh,
So margin
that low.
requirement, yeah. Margin requirements have come down quite a lot. It's commensurate with its price and lot size also. For a 4250 lot size on 110 rupees stock, that comes out to less than I think 6 lakh rupees. So
Yeah.
uh, considering that margin size is pretty decent, so even if someone has small account and wants to try their hand at stock options, they can look at Tata Steel along with Wipro. Of course, Wipro also has a similar situation, very low margin requirements. But mind you, stock options are much more risky than index
Yeah.
options
You should
because
know
of,
how to get out of them.
oh yeah, that's more important because liquidity sometimes just dries up.
You will have
There
to have
was
the
one.
knowledge of reading the bid ask or getting out in between the bid ask.
Yes. There have been times when I have been stuck in a position with 2000 rupees spread in bid and ask
Oh my God.
to exit. But that position was in profit, so I wouldn't mind holding it. But yeah, it is a risk that traders want to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've also burnt my hands a lot in a lot of illiquid stock options. You just can't get
hmm,
out at the prices. You can't keep stop losses over there. It's just doesn't work.
yeah, this is just for people who are really interested in seeing large
Yeah. But
P&Ls. Let
Tata
me
Steel
tell
is a
you
pretty
this.
liquid stock. I'm talking about stocks
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. For
Crockery, all of those.
yeah,
That yeah.
Tata Steel still you can it can absorb quite a bit of volume even in options. I think up to 15-20 lots
Yeah.
shouldn't be too difficult if you sort of know how to spread your position out and not try to buy everything at once. So that's Tata Steel for me. Steel sector as a whole is moving a little differently now. It's not in a clear uptrend anymore. So that is something we will have to watch. Yeah, as you can see, it's consolidating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, whether it breaks out and keeps moving up or whether it goes down
Yeah,
from here.
highly unlikely because what I see is it's the first touch, right? So it should give a pullback to this level and then consolidate more here and have a breakout. I
Yeah,
don't see
yeah.
it going through like in a
Mhm.
straight one line move. No, I
Mhm.
don't see it.
Also linking this with a news on Friday, CPI data that came out was less than expected. So inflation is less than what many of the analysts and economists were expecting. Now, mind you, inflation is calculated based on commodity prices, whether they be agricultural commodities, natural commodities, anything. A major component of calculating inflation is commodities. So, if inflation is going down, that does mean that a lot of commodity prices are also going down. So, we have to keep that in mind when we look at all these commodity stocks, whether they be metals, oils, agricultural stocks, anything. So that is something to keep in mind. But of course, in 10 days, 15 days time frame, any stock can give any directional move. And that is precisely what we try to capture with options here, which is why I have entered into a position which expires in 10 days. So uh, by next Monday, I think I will be out of this position either at a profit or a loss because last week of expiry holding stock options requires large margin. We will talk about that as well at some point in time.
Yeah.
How NSE has strange rules when it comes to options trading. Speaking of options, USDINR gave really good move today, and we had mentioned this in our Friday's
Yeah.
F&O as well. It's you need not search. Yeah, IDC works.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
marked out the trade plan also here.
Yeah. So it didn't touch the zone that we had marked, but on daily time frame there is a trend line for aggressive entries which I had drawn.
Okay.
Huh. So
Like
from
something like
in
this?
the first no. In the August from the August
Oh,
low, if
okay,
you
okay, 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 okay.
yeah that Yeah, yeah. So yeah, something like this I had drawn. I saw. In fact, I drew this in the morning. I had no plan of taking the trade in the morning when USDINR started moving up. I saw the chart. I saw the
Oh,
trend
on a
line.
line
I
chart, it's
figured
a
I will.
perfect trend line, by the way.
Yes, yes. I think in currency it's better to look at line charts only because
Yeah,
what happens, same currency is traded across multiple exchanges.
yeah.
So a certain wick that is shown on IDC may not be shown on ONADA
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so that will mess up the structure. Also in currencies, it's always advised to keep very wide stops because
A lot of
because of the
liquidity
same
lines.
reason that because the same reason the money might simply be moving from one exchange to the other, but in process of doing that it might just make a lot of random candles and take you out. So generally when people trade forexes they keep very deep stop losses.
Yeah.
Also though it's not the case for Indian rupee pairs, other currency pairs are traded throughout 24 hours. So that is another reason why stop losses need to be wide. That one random move somewhere might take your stop out and then it keep moving up. But yeah, this range that we have drawn 80 to 82 still holds. Still watching it. I am out of the trade because my position was simply too small to hold on to. I didn't want to track it that much. But yeah, this is the range in USD INR that we are watching. Options did double. Call options add the money 80.5, 80.75 did double in premium since days open. They might, FX market is closed now, but I'm pretty sure they closed at very high levels. Let me just check. Yeah, all of them closed above 2x. So that's that. Yeah, yeah, that's USD INR. That's it, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you have
Thanks for
any doubts,
watching.
please feel free to comment.
Yes, yes. All our socials are in the description. Subscribe to this YouTube channel for tomorrow's shows. You will get updated, and we are in the process of making shorts out of this long videos. So by the end of the day, right after the video goes up, you will see some snippets of these videos in the short form as well. Okay, guys. Have a great evening.
Have a great
Thanks for
evening.
tuning in.